Hi there, my name is Sarycheva Maria, and together with my dearest friend and colleague Elena Ishchenko, we formed the curatorial duo League of Tenders. We are happy to present you a series of the live performances created at the invitation of Vleeshal Center for Contemporary Art. 3 sessions entitled Geopoetics, Inheritance were created by Mukaddas Mijit in collaboration with artists from Uyghur diaspora. Mukaddas Mijit is a filmmaker and artist from Urumqi, the capital of Uyghur region. Her work moves between research and creation, exploring the living memory of Uyghur culture through sound, movement, and storytelling. This third session, entitled Singing the Butterflies, unfolds in an encounter between Alma, a 3-year-old Uyghur French toddler, also known as Mukaddas' daughter, and Lutpulla, a Uyghur visual artist from the diaspora. Children's songs, Uyghur storybooks, and watercolor paintings become a shared playground. The performance explores how this seemingly simple form of expression can hold and transmit the memory and joy of belonging across time, sowing seeds of intergenerational connections, even when words are missing or impossible. Lutpulla is an Uyghur artist based in Japan, working in digital media and watercolor. Formed in classical European schools, he developed a realistic visual language as a method, not as restriction. His work has been exhibited in various countries. Since the late 2010, he has pursued personal research alongside commissions and editorial projects, reaching audiences far beyond his place of origin. His practice is driven by the need to project Uyghur identity into the future through imagination. The mythologies and landscapes he creates are alternative futures resisting erasure. We're thankful for the support of the Vleeshal Center for Contemporary Art and our broadcast director, Basil. After the performance, there will be discussion. So if you feel the need to ask any questions, please do not hesitate to write them in the comment section. Let's go.
Bu güzel bahçemde oyna herkes şad. Güllerdir güllerde konup sen daim. Bu güzel bahçemde oyna herkes şad. Gibinek can dostum. Tring. Çıkıdı mı? Rahmet balım. Ne yiyorsunuz balam?
Bitti şokolat.
Şokolat yediniz mi? Kaçını yediniz? Sana bakalım siz.
Am.
Uygurca sana bakın.
Ben aşkı 3, 4, 5. Yeter.
6. 6.
6,
7.
7,
2.
7,
7'den keyin qaysi keldi o?
8, 9,
2. 10. 12.
9.
12. 9 kelamda. 12. 11. Evet. Cimmerlaydı yıldızlar, göz kısışıp özüce. Ular tünün zünneti, buğularının sözüce. Ular tünün zünneti, buğularının sözüce. Yani kadar?
Yeter. Uçu.
Yaramdım. Hammanlarının aldığa mehman bolup baramdım. Sana baksam onlarını, senlerinin çıkıyor. Adaş bolaydı sen, göz kısıtı gibi yok. Adaş bolaydı sen, göz kısıtı gibi yok. Yok. Önemli değil.
Nek gibi nek telden dostum. Bu güzel bahçemde oynar kişat gibi gülege
konup sendayım. Bu güzel bahçemde oynar kişat gibi nek gibi nek gelgin can dostum. Tring. Bravo. her günü tağda padı bakıdı eken. Tağda onun bilen gep kılıdığan, onun bilen oynaydıgan adam bolmağaşqa ona hayti zerikili eken. Bir günü o başkalarını korkutuş niyetide yoğan taşın üstüne çıkıp ne bakıraptı balam? Böyle kiçen bakırancın. Yani bir geldi dep tazı bakıraptı. Tağ bağırda yer terip atkan, otun kesip atkan kişiler onun avazını anlap kılıp atkan işlerini taşlap, kollarına gürcek əpkeşlerini ilip böğünü yokutuş üçün tağ çıkıptı. Mama kokaptı.
Je veux pas ça. Je veux pas ça.
Mankepte. Ben
Je veux pas ça. Je veux l'enlever.
Başlandı bile. Burunqı zamanda bir balı bolğan iken. Kişiler tağı çıkıp qarğıdak bolsa, qoylar böğür obdan otlap yürgidek. Böğren nädimi böğrü bolsun? Köpçülük padıcı baldın böğrü qini dep sorğan içken, padıcı bala qaqaqlap turib ketip, indeptu? Çaq qoydum sizlarga. Indeptu? Çaq qoydum.
C'est moi, c'est moi.
Qana deptu? Çaq. Deptu. Köpçülüknің atçığı kelip, neme üçün yalğan sözleysen dep onu ayıplepti de tağdan düşüp öz işlerini qilishibdi. Bir neçə gün ötkenden keyin köpçülük taza ciddi işlep atqanda tağ tarapdan yana baqırgan avaz anlanıptı. Nima baqırıptı? Çın baqıraysiz balam. Tağның üstüne chiqib baqırıptı emasmi? Çın baqıraysiz sen. Köpçülük qılıvatqan işlerini taşlap qo'lga salmonlarni ilib böğrünü yo'qlig'iga atlanıptı. Köpçülük tağda böğrünü uçuratmaptı. Faqat padıcı balının külüp tiliqib qalğanligini ko'ribdi. Aslida böğre kepdimi kelmapti olma? Yo'q deysiz. Kelmapti.
Encore çak.
Yana chaqchaq qiptimi? Padıcı bala külüp durup, oho neme degan qiziqarli ishga shuncha ko'p odam meni aldam xaltamga tushibdi debdi. Yaqin keling sen, yaqin. Keldina. Yaqin keling. Köpçülükning qattiq achchig'i kelib, uningga oldingi qitim sana yolg'on aytmaslik to'g'risida tarbiya bersak, yana nima ish bizni aldaysan debdi. Yaqin keling. Bir neçə gün ötkəndən keyin tağ tərəfdən böğrü gəldi degan avaz yana alınıbdı. Köpçülük Jim turamaman. Köpçülük Qulaq selinglar, birisi böğrü gəldi deb baqıravatdı deyishibdi. Ular zan qo'yib anlab, padıcıbalning ovozini tonib qapti. Ular onun bilan qaringlar bo'lmasin. U bizni uda 2 qitim aldi, bu qitimmi cho'qim yig'ilgan aytibdi deyishibdi. Qana qopdi olma? Böğrü keptimi? Böğrü kepti. Nima degan qo'rqinchli bo'ra bu qitim rostini kepti. Bo'ra tishlarini hingaytib, padıcıbalning padıcıbalni tishlab zaxmlantiribdi. Padıcıbala qo'rqib ketganidan nima baqiribdi? Geldi. Böğrü rastını geldi deb baqiribdi. Köpçülük 2 qitim aldam xaltaga tushgachga uning gapiga ishonmay, uning vaqirig'ini anglamasga silib, o'z ishlarini qilibdi. Padıcıbala jinining barcha yugurib tağdan domlab tushib, böğrüdən qutulib qolgan bo'lsa-mu, uning qo'ylarini böğrə tutma qilib etibdi. Shuningdan e'tiboran Падычы бала, ялған кеп қылмайдыған, рас кеп қылыдыған, қандақ бал бопты? Жақшы бала бопты ма?
Yaxşı bala.
Yani мен кеп тапырам, алих әует етіміз. Жақшы бала бопты ма?
Yaxşı bala.
Енді тапырам.
Sama.
Жақшы,
Sama.
жақшы бала.
Yaxşı alma.
Жақшы алма бопты ма? Жақшы алма бопты.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for Lutpulla for his beautiful paintings. It was very poetic and at the same time, I don't know, I felt really like emotional watching it because it is also my daughter's voice and this is Alma's first ever performance as well. So seeing her voice with the beautiful painting come out live like this, it was like really beautiful. I hope everyone appreciated how everything came together, and this is also something really important, I think, for us as a community, you know, to keep these children's song as well in our daily life and to transmit them. And I'm really happy to finish this performance with a conversation with Elena and Maria about this whole. I think we can open up the floor and then discuss the whole three performance as well. Yeah. Do you want to say anything?
And there is already one comment on YouTube page that Alma rapped Kipinek. She got inspired by yesterday's show. I didn't entirely get it because I don't speak Uyghur. But I've heard Alma saying this word Kipinek, right? What does it mean? And can you explain a bit about the fairy tale, right? It was a fairy tale and also the songs
Yeah.
which you together performed during this session.
Yeah. The kipinek, it means butterfly. That's why the session's name is Singing the Butterflies. It's a very old children's song, and it's very a simple song that I think every Uyghur kids who was born in the motherland, and they grew up with this song, and then it was also used by the other artists, you know, like sometimes in their songs and then as an intro, you know, like this song is uh many people also like plays it. I was really amazed like how many of my friends who doesn't play piano normally, but they know how to, like play this melody on piano. So it's something like really, really anchored in our collective memory, collective consciousness. And also, it's something that I remembered when I started to sing for Alma, like something that she really reacted to it because it's very simple, rhythmic, and that's also the first song that she can remember and recite all the lyrics in Uyghur. Of course, where we live with Alma, she has more like French linguistic environment because everyone else than me speaks to her in French. So her French is going really well. But in Uyghur, I'm the only one who's speaking to her. And what I found really interesting is like instead of teaching her how to speak, teaching her how to sing is like more interesting for her, and also she can pick up like more quickly while singing with me. So she really likes singing, and also since she was born, I would sing like lullabies every night, like for hours and hours, like and she like I think in terms of transmitting a language, singing to children's songs or lullabies has a very important role. It's just a very simple song if you want to know the meaning. It's the Kipi neck, my friend, come join me in this beautiful flower yard, and that's very simple. And the storybook that I read for her, the story of the wolf, the boy who cries wolf. I think it's a very well-known story that many people knows in the world. Um, mm, Actually, it's a very funny story because after Alma was born, I was trying to get some children's for books for her in Uyghur. So I managed to find some online shops based in Istanbul, and I asked them to send me whatever Uyghur children's book they have. Many of the books that they printed, it's a reprint of books that existed in the homeland. So they sent me like I don't know over 100 books, and this is the first one that we she really reacted to, and because there's a very interesting part where she gets to like say the bird geldi, the cry, saying that the wolf is coming, the wolf is coming. That became a kind of play, a kind of a game in between Alma and me, and also. But I was sharing this with Maria yesterday. Um, but this wolf story is a very old story, right? It's like it has I mean it's shared in many countries all across the board globe. I think many people knows the story. And it's and also I'm now when I compare these Uyghur books to French children's book, I feel like there's such a gap in terms of how the children's child age education, like what kind of stories that French parents are telling their kids, and the wolf image has been like very very um, reworked, I think, rewrite in children's book in nowadays because they don't want to create wolf as a negative image. So there's so many books where the wolf are the heroes, and then they're so cute, and then they're so nice and gentle. They have like all kinds of emotions. There's like the series of books of how wolves can be like really sad, really heartbroken, or like really, like there's like so many like new stories about wolves. And I think that that's really great because wolves are not like we shouldn't paint like these I mean that wolves are not that negative images, and there's like a very important parts of this world and the ecosystem, and I think that's really cool. And then one last book that Alma really likes, which is it's a French children's book. It's also a series. It's a mixed race wolf. The wolves mother is crocodile and the father is wolf, and they and this mixed raised wolf, which I think resonates a lot with Alma because she's mixed race, so and she can really like relate to this, and this croco wolf, and he's a very cute character, and then he does all this like very interesting stuff, and there's some emotions in it. So I think from what I like can imagine for Uyghur books is we still have so much work to do in terms of like how we can transmit our stories in Uyghur, which we have like lots of work to do, and we are like a little bit behind in like how to educate kids in a very positive way, and to like change this very negative images of certain animals, mammals, and wolf, lions, and they can be like very positive, and then how to bring like positivity while they're like connecting with nature and while they're connecting with the wild animals. So it's a very long like answer for your question, but I think it's important. This image of wolf is also important. We were also talking with Maria. Maybe you can share your stories about that. Is like wolf is also a very important symbol um, for like all these Turkic nations. Actually, like we have this foundational stories about how white wolf, yeah, guided, or gray wolf, in our case we say gray wolf, guided these tribes to their land, and it's like an epic story. And I think, yeah, I mean, there's something, like the notion of like how our stories with wolf, our relationship with wolves are also interesting and important to, like to bring onto table, to say like, yeah, yeah, we had these stories which are different than the standard westernized views of wolves. So I mean, how can we like um revitalize the image of wolf is also something I'm kind of interested in.
Yeah, as we discussed yesterday, first of all, thank you so much, Lutpulla, for this amazing drawing, which was created live. And it was like regarding the performance, I have a really, first of all, I need to say that this is a really nice Sunday morning performance that feels so calm and so relaxed and so, like in between of something. And regarding the wolf image, I think it's like chapeau rouge trauma, this European tale. But when I moved to Europe, I realized, yes, that wolf perceived here like as something completely different, and also like it's a symbol of many like right wing political movements, and you just like, no, it's not. It's a wolf. Like you live near him, and he's gonna help you, and he's gonna like show you something which you don't know. Like he's not good. Like there is no harm from the wolf. It's more about the relationship with the forest and with the wolf as a part of the ecosystems. So that was really surprising for me. But I also remember talking with you about this and I've been talking a lot with my friend who also has a like toddler as a kid, and she speaks Tatar, and for him Tatar is like third language already, being a toddler, like speaking in between Norwegian, Danish, English, Russian, and Tatar. So Tatar is gonna lose in the perspective. So like since the beginning, this is the language who is kind of destined to fail in this collection of languages. And when she told me that, like I was almost crying because, and she was like really honest about that, completely sober, crystal, and just like I totally understand that like even Russian is not going to survive probably in the future. So there is going to be English and some Scandinavian language, and the rest is just, and she used the term like sound blanket, which I really enjoy. That like, if you think about that, we're returning to the idea of the mother tongue in general, that this is like the language which your mother using to speak to you. And like this sound blanket, I think I got even envy at some point, that I realized that this is the really beautiful human experience which the kid is going to have, and he can always return to these songs in Uyghur, for example. In your case, like Alma is always going to be able to calm herself down, just remembering these sounds. And what is your relationship with this like future failing of the Uyghur? Or you don't think that it's going to be like a lost languages in her life in the future?
Yeah, it makes me really emotional thinking about like this might be like something that she could calm herself when she needed. Sorry. Because yeah, I mean, it's this past 3 days we have been dealing with like, I mean, there's trauma in each of the performance that we brought in, and we're just trying to, like find ways to hold on to what's ours. Yeah, and that's also my dilemma with Alma, like I know her Uyghur will never be good enough as her French, or maybe she will pick up English later. But the sound blanket idea is so nice. And it's really nice. And I don't want to traumatize her like by pushing her like you have to speak this language, like I have seen kids in the diaspora like not understanding why they have to learn Uyghur because there's no use of Uyghur language. But I really think, and I think all the artists that came to this performance, they really try to make this language, like keep it alive, and so we can create things all together. And so future generation will not just look at it as something lost, but something that they can go back to, like a blanket and they can hold on to. I'm so sorry.
Oh
Yeah, it's totally okay. Yeah. When you told about this pushing Alma to learn Uyghur, I recalled how we spoke with like many other artists who participated in the nomadic program that we curated. And I recalled how Milana Khalilova told about like the situation in the republics of the North Caucasus with Cherkessian, Kabardine-Adyghe languages as like being native, and how like many children actually perceive these languages as a kind of a burden for them, right? Because it's like the situation in Russia, I think, with this assimilation as well, of erasing the native languages, creates this like concept that you should like forget basically that you have any other language besides Russian, that like you don't have any other native language besides Russian language. Because like if you want to have good education, go to the university, have a good job, well paid, be integrated in this society, you should speak perfect Russian. And that is why like many even parents do not want to learn their children speaking their native languages because it will create this accent when they speak Russian. And it creates the situation when you forget that you basically have another native language besides Russian. But Milana was talking about how to create this situation of learning language as something joyful, as something that bring you happiness, and not felt like a burden that you should learn this language just to protect this tradition and so on. And I think this way of songs, right? It's like, so that could be like this way of communicating this language as something joyful. And also I like also speaking about wolves. I recalled this lullaby that my mom and my grandmother sang to me, right? Maria, you should know this, yes? That if you want to fall asleep, the gray wolf will come and bite you from the side. So it was also, but it was in Russian. So to also have this idea of a gray wolf as, as someone not really kind to the children. Yeah, but still. And in this month, I recalled also like our project that we made with Lucia Kagramanyan about Armenian lullabies. And some of these lullabies are so like not just sad but cruel as well, because some of these songs, they like carry this generational trauma of genocide, and still how these songs transmit this knowledge, both sides, the knowledge about the genocide from the one side, which is like really important also for Armenian people to remember this. But on the other side, it transmits knowledge about the language and transmits the language itself. And for example, I have a friend, and our friend Lilit Mativasyan. She's Armenian, based in Sochi, and now she has a toddler, 3-year-old guy. And Armenian is her first native mother tongue, but she has been living in Russia for the entire life, and she speaks Russian mostly. But the lullabies and the songs she sings to her toddler, they are in Armenian. It's like the way of transmitting all this. Yeah, so I think this is really beautiful.
Yeah. About about the wolf, I will react to the lullabies later, but just before I forget about the wolf stories, there's a very funny album which is in French as well. It's the story of a wolf and the red Petit Chaperon Rouge, the red hat girl who get eaten by the wolf, and then her grandmother as well. And there's a very they made a very nice album that they say in the beginning, oh, for our show, Wolf cannot come because he's sick. He ate too much grandmas, and then his stomach is not like keeping up, so he's 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 sick and he's becoming vegetarian. And now we replaced the wolf with a pig. So the pig is really stupid in the story. So it's like it's like a mixing up everything. So I mean, I really like the idea of how there's things that is transmitted, like very, very anchored, but there's still like the place to replace it and play with it, and then like undone the trauma, because if you're like uh, grew up with this gray wolf will bite you in if you don't sleep. I mean, that's a kind of also traumatic memories, but um yeah, I mean, I just wanted to share that. But about the lullabies, I did a research on lullabies, and it was in 2010, and I went to different places in the Uyghur region, and I collected lullabies, and I realized that they're all very sad. That that was like really, really, really something that came like struck me, because it was like such a they were like different types of lullabies, but they were always like kind of very sad. There were also some like newer ones. They're like very light and joyful, but the older ones are like always very, very sad. And and then I try to dig in. It's like also like collective trauma, but at the same time also very like personal trauma of like women, like after giving birth, and then how they like stuck at their like in this complete isolation, and then even though their people are helping them, but you have to be responsible for like this like very fragile newly born human, and then also there's a lot of attention given to the baby, but like very less to the mother. And then I think there's also some kind of uh traumas like this in a very like mothers like tend to be isolated with their kids, and then they don't know how to deal with it. And then there's also this kind of very sadness of a woman, like not a mother but a woman, like you have to almost say goodbye to your womanness, and then you have to transit to this new role. So I think it's like a very interesting psychological state. I mean, we talk now a lot about postpartum depression and stuff like that, but I think a lot of this was dealt with this lullabies that women would tend to sing for their kids.
Yeah, and like returning to this question of the native language as a playful territory, that's the reason like we appreciate a lot the word like playground, which you use like in the description of your this particular performance. I think, regarding to what Lena just said about this like serious struggle of languages on the territory of Russian Federation, like national languages, there is now a case of one female Chuvash rapper, and she's her name is Taipi, and she's like rapping in Chuvash, and recently she wrote and she got a lot of critique, like huge amount of critique, because like she's using like, and the most critiques, like she's separated in two categories. The first category is that the people who perceive native language as something really sacral, the one which is like passing from mother to baby, and like it shouldn't go like anywhere beyond this sacral bond or something. And the second is,
And also like this Western culture, right? Like we don't need to rap in our native language because it's sacred, it's for like our prayers and so on, not just for these rap songs which are dirty and filthy and so on.
yeah, and the second is that the people who kind of wanted to support all of them wanted to support the native language, but the motivation is very like different in all of the cases. And in the end, like for Russian speaking audience, she don't really understandable, and she's like perceived as a joke, like because like it's something. And in Chuvash speaking communities, she's also like really, and we have this like in the past few years there was cases like that, like the band Ayola from Bashkortostan, who became like really famous on the territory of Russian Federation and beyond as well. And they got critique about the accent in Bashkort, for example, because it's not the level of Bashkort is not that beautiful as for example, the level if you like talking in the family all the time. So it's created like this big and beautiful discussions about like who has the right to speak and sing publicly in the language, having in mind that it's not it's a life situation. Yes, so the language is changing all the time. We came up with the different words all the time, and like allowing the language to evolve, like we need to be able to have a capacity to play with that. And it's so strange to talk about that in English, to be honest, because for me, like, it's really alienated language for sure. Live as you preach. Yeah. Yeah, and like the thing which like we witnessed yesterday, for example, and tonight as well, and today as well, it's for me it's about this like allowing the language. Okay, if there is no this healthy trajectory of existing of the languages, like if it's forbidden, prohibited, forgotten, blah 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 blah, different many things, then why we shouldn't do like things like that? Why we shouldn't experiment, and why we shouldn't keep up, like came up with the different forms all the time? And like I sort of like we remembering a lot of our female friends artists with the kids now. And returning to Yanye Mikhailina, who's this artist born in Tatarstan. She is now, for example, she's singing with her toddler like a Tatar pop song from the 90s and the beginning of 2000s. And like for him, it's his kid songs, And for her, that's like really amazing songs which she adored.
Yeah.
So I think like they both having a good time, but at the same time, it's not like lullabies or something. It's like pop songs, which was a like development of the pop songs was deeply connected with the autonomy of these regions. So it was something also amazing. And we have this like all mixed all together. And yeah, that was
I
just
think
like
the songs carries on. I mean, the memory, like the emotions and also the heritage. I mean, people like should sing more. Yeah, like and also in this kind of struggle of like how can we transmit the language to the next generation where they don't have an environment to speak in that language. I think singing together it's like really, really, and also like I realized with my daughter, with Alma, like she loves singing. I mean, lots of the kids they love really singing. I think like we also do sing in French because that's the songs that she wants to share because she learns them at school. But at the same time, I will always like bring some Uyghur songs, and now she's like she also demands like let's sing Jimerlaydu or let's sing Tipinek, let's sing Apak Apak, like she wants these songs, like because I will sing with her, and then it's like a moment that we share together, and it's a singing in their native tongue. It's like such a joyful, yeah, it's as you were saying, it's like a joyful moment, and it's also how to transmit something so heavy, so fragile in a joyful way. I think it's important, yeah.
And I'm yeah, just interested. Is it like how it's the situation in an Uyghur region in China with Uyghur language right now? Like how it's possible to sing there in Uyghur, like independently or only within this like state organized ensembles, groups?
Yeah, I mean it's a complicated situation because I'm like among the like last generation who had every education in Uyghur language. Well, I went to college, like I finished university in Uyghur language. So I mean that existed, like like people like teachers could teach at the university in any major in Uyghur. Like people like me are fully educated in Uyghur. And then after my generation graduated from university, it gradually become kind of, yeah, no, but Uyghur should be like a second language. You have to like teach it later, like they gradually took it out. And also it became a kind of situation where the whole classroom is Uyghur kids and the teacher is Uyghur, and they were forced to teach in Chinese. And that created a lot of like imbalance and then lots of complications, and also it created gap, like for Uyghur kids to, like really learn these knowledge because of the language the teacher is speaking is it's in their second language, and for the students it's their second language, and that creates lots of problem. And then after 2016, 17, and then it became very clear that they were targeting Uyghur languages as well. So like no kids were allowed to speak at school Uyghur language. And um, I mean, we had so many rich Uyghur publishing houses, and then so many, like many decades of published books were all destroyed. And we heard from, like, of course I didn't went there to witness all this by myself, but from the witnesses, from the research that some researchers are doing, that now we know that they burned down like lots of books from the university libraries, and then they ask people to like submit the books that they have at home, and many people, they're really scared, and then they spend like nights and nights and nights burning their books, which are like legally published by the like state owned publishing houses. And they burned them in their bathroom, like, so like they spent entire like month to destroying some old DVDs because there are like Uyghur songs in it, like there have been like massive destructions of Uyghur language, um, and not only in literature but also in like memory, and also like language wise. And I have been talking to some friends now who still have very close relatives at in the homeland, and sometimes they will like share some stories about, yeah, I talked to my sister, and then she has two kids, and then they only speak in Chinese at home. And when I wanted to talk to them, and they will talk to me in Chinese, she's like, I told them that I don't speak Chinese, so can you please talk to me in Uyghur? And they will like do, she told me like they will like do like this, like they will like as if speaking in Uyghur for these kids is something shameful. So that's the general education for kids right now, and they only allowed to speak in Chinese at school, and at home sometimes they might speak in Uyghur because the parents, they don't speak very good Chinese. But the Uyghur language is painted as something shameful, something like as Maria was saying, like it's yeah, you were saying it's like it's not worth learning. It's backwarded, like if you want to have a good job, you only speak, like there's this policy of national language, which is the Han Chinese. So everyone should speak very good national language. And I was also looking at some videos that some people now can go back and then visiting the homeland, and then they were sometimes some images in the Instagram that they would share of the streets, and the street signs are like mostly in Chinese now. There's Uyghur exists, but it's like shrinking, shrinking, shrinking. Sometimes they don't even have Uyghur language, like as before, they were like always two. And one thing really struck me, one of the visitors like this, and then he went to a restaurant in the northern part of the region in Holja, and then clearly all the like clients they're eating inside of this restaurants are all Uyghurs, but the everything is written in Chinese. There's like pictures of the dishes of Uyghur dishes like lahman, polo, etc. But everything is written in Chinese. But everyone who's like inside, they like, at least from the video, they look very Uyghur. So it's like a very local restaurant. Even inside, you don't allow to name your own like own dishes in your own language. But I mean, there's also some counter example of that. I mean, of course, we are seeing like some Uyghur artists, they're still singing in Uyghur. and some videos are still in like some major TV productions are in Uyghur, but you will always see this Chinese subtitle, and also like this very like important Uyghur singers, like traditional singers. If you look at their program, if they're doing any concerts, they're always like very Chinese nationalistic songs should be embedded in their program. So, so yeah, the situation is very bad, and I mean, how long people will remember speaking in Uyghur? You know, like the younger generation, the kids of my daughter's age, they will grow up, I think, mainly in Chinese.
That's crazy. And the craziest part that while listening to you, like I kind of simultaneously were thinking about the status of national languages on the territory of Russian Federation, and I could easily to imagine the fate similar to the fate of the Uyghur language right now, in terms of the language existing on the land, like not in diaspora. And my other question was, Lena has already mentioned the thing about the existence of the language, kind of facade. Like the Uyghur language could exist on the Uyghur lands only as, I don't know, the folk ensemble or something like that. Like, do you have that?
Yes, yes, yes.
So
Yeah,
like the culture could only exist like only in the museum, in the folk tradition.
yes. And also in a very tourist, like, I mean, Chinese state now, how their policy towards the Uyghur region is like really encourage everyone to do business in tourism. So it's like a giant touristic attraction park, you know, like um so there's a lot of tourist, like newly built tourist sites, or kind of they will like in the middle of nowhere create like this castle saying that this is from, I don't.
Ethnical villages.
And yeah, and Uyghurs like have to dress up in a stage costumes, and they have to dance, you know, like they have to sing, and then they have to pose for photos, you know, like that's very encouraged. Yeah, in a very folkloric, in a very commercial way.
And all these images are used by the government, by the state to show like there is no like any violations of human rights, there is no like violence towards Uyghur people, like everything is okay. Look, they have the opportunity to sing their language, to wear their national clothes, and so on and so forth. We all have this villages for Uyghurs and so on. Yeah, that is. Yeah, but also, like when we are speaking now, I recall how Sonia Imin, after the first performance, she told that like memory is a record.
Yeah.
And I think like that is so powerful thought, so powerful idea. And like, but here we are facing the question of how we should preserve this memory, right? How we should keep this memory alive, not just like something that is fading away gradually, but something that is still present. And I think like art practices and also like storytelling, right, is so important of keeping and preserving the memories and preserving the memory as a record.
Yeah, yeah, that's, I think art has a very important role to play, and creativity and storytelling, that's something that is like should be encouraged. And I'm really happy that you gave us this platform. I just want to say again, thank you. This has been a very interesting and important few weeks, you know, like creating this three performance with artists. I think that's, I mean, everything is tied to memory, it's tied to language, and it's tied to our experience. And I think this is how we keep the memory alive, and this is how we like keep on saying that we are still here, and then we still do stuff. And
Yeah, but to think like we want to thank you as well and all of the people who participated in the program as well, because for us is also, if we're talking about the memory, like how to share that with others, because we share like different struggles on different levels, and sometimes it's not so obvious. So in dialogue together with you, we can like see like different struggles with like how each of us is facing on the different scales. And I think by sharing like this really intimate processes, you know, like for the diaspora, that to bring all of this into the table and to share publicly, and we don't want to talk about the culture only in like trauma. Like we have this exhibition now which is called Tatarkis, because we wanted to perceive the culture not as something which is in the past and full of trauma, but it's today and it's taking different forms, and like there is a lot of joy in that, and there is a lot of different like complex feelings inside of that. And like for you and for all the artists participating in the program, we are extremely thankful for you like being honest and intimate and vulnerable together with us. Thank you so much.
Okay, maybe we should wrap up. I don't know if anyone has.
I think it's all only us actually. Maybe Mirka as well.
Yeah. If thank you so much, and I see that there's 6 or 7 people online.
There are some
still
views.
watching. Thank you so much, and I mean, now I'm used to like ending each year with some project with you. You know, like we did Geopoetics last year in the December. Now this, and looking forward for next year.
Yes, we're never saying goodbye actually.
Yeah. And we are waiting for your text for the publication, which should come out next year. So
Yeah.
it's not the end of our story still.
Yes, and we want to say thank you to all of the viewers who've been seeing this like 3 live performances over the past 3 days, and we hope that
Who will watch them recorded, because it's still will
Yeah.
stay at the YouTube pages, at the Vleeshal page.
Yes, thank you so much. Let's wrap up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.